I think it worked. We did it. Yay! I'm only 6 minutes late due to technical difficulties, but thank you for those of you who might be uh, logging in now. Hi, we're live. Welcome. We're live and direct. Okay, we're here. I'm telling Twitter. We are live. We have conquered technical. Is that how you spell hijinks? Who knows how to spell hijinks? Anyone? Who knows how to spell hijinks? Hi, everybody. All three of you that are here. I think that's how. Oh, I thought I might have used a CK. I knew you would know, Amit. No, I did use a K. I'm smart, I promise. Hijinks with an X. Yay! That means this is working. That means it's working. Thank you, Sophia. It. Wait. Okay, now I'm getting mixed reviews. Some people say with a K, some people say with an X. You know what? You know what I meant. Welcome. Maybe I should have given this a dry run before I logged on, but I'm a Capricorn who doesn't read directions all the time. So I was just like, all I got to do is press the go live button and boom, I'm live, right? That's how this works. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my inaugural live stream, coming to you live and direct from beautiful Brooklyn, New York, that I haven't seen much of in the last week or so. It's fine. We are staying home to save lives. We are only going out for the essentials, which for me yesterday was a Trader Joe's run, which was fantastic. Hi, Mika. My best friend of 27 and a half years is here. It has been 27 and a half years. Hi, sure. Both my besties are here. Hi. So, funny story. Can't remember if it was Wednesday or Tuesday of last week, which was Tuesday was my last day at work before we closed, and I went to the wine store, and I got what I thought was a saucy little bottle of red wine. I got 2 bottles, mind you. They were stocking the shelves as people were just taking things down. So I was trying to look for something in my budget, and I saw this cute little bottle here of Barbadillo. It is from Spain. And your friend Nandi did not read the bottle. She just looked at the $15 price tag, and she got herself a fancy bottle of sherry. I don't think I've ever had sherry before, but you are going to witness me drink sherry for the first time live on the internet. So, all right. That is a thing that exists in the world, and it's currently in this cup. So I guess tomorrow we'll make a run to the wine store and maybe get real red wine and not this. Don't say I'm not going to drink it, because I will, because it's here. And I told you all I would have wine, so it's not wine, it's sherry. Who's going to know the difference? Hi. That's a no-go buy your book. You know what? Maybe we do need a fancy cup, but if you know me well enough to know, you know that my general aesthetic as a person is fancy makeup and a red Solo cup. Some of the best times of my life were had with a red Solo cup in my hand. Most memorable moments of my upbringing were with a red Solo cup in my hand. So next time I'll get a fancy cup. I promise. I promise. It was an emotional journey to watch. It was. It was an emotional journey. Speaking of, Journey's room is right behind me here, so you could hear her watching Black Lightning. You could hear her doing her own specific YouTube channels that she does to herself because she too loves YouTube. Maybe next time I will let Journey come in and sit in. She'll love it. She's very entertaining. She will take all of, she will be, she will upstage me at every turn because she is infinitely cuter than I am. So how are you guys doing? Out there is socially distancing and almost sick of the four walls that they live in. Not me. I'm fine. Oh, my connection's unstable. Really? All right, please let me know if you can see me still. Hi, Phoebe! Hi, Sadad. Hi, Kia. Hi, guys. Phoebe, it's so late. Why are you up? You know what? You're a mom. You're probably up so you can get some quiet time. Hashtag relatable content. Hi. All right, we made sure that we switched over to the good Wi-Fi, the 5G, the one that isn't responsible for coronavirus. Looking at you, Carrie Hilson. If I keep drinking it, it won't be so bad. I don't know. Can we do this forever? Okay, good. I'm glad you guys can see me. I switched to the good Wi-Fi. I maybe should have done that beforehand. I also maybe should have done a dry run to see what was going to happen because at one point they were like, you need to download software. And I'm like, you didn't say that before. It's fine. Thank you, Sadette, for having a bourbon in my honor because I am low on bourbon and that has to, that has to be corrected tomorrow. I didn't really get much before the crackdown, so I probably should do it tomorrow. I thought I could do this forever too, Amit. I thought I too could just be like, oh, me being in the house, not having to leave and deal with the train and stuff, but I do kind of miss the outdoors. I do miss breathing fresh air. And I use the term fresh so loosely because I do live in New York and fresh air is a oxymoron around here. You may hear the sounds of Brooklyn because I'm in my bedroom and I'm in the back of the house. So noises tend to echo beautifully through my window. The fire station is also a block behind me. So at any given time, you may hear sirens, but that's New York, baby. That is the glory of living in New York City. Thank you, YouTube, for telling me that I'm live. I know. Who am I, Erica? Who am I if I'm low on bourbon? I also want to let you guys know that I have eyeshadow all over my contact lenses because, of course, I do. Because, of course, I went too hard on my eyes, like I'm wont to do. I haven't worn makeup since, I'm going to say, the very, very beginning of the month. When I got my hair cut the very first weekend in March, which I'm very, very grateful that I did that on the spur, on like the the whim. I was like, oh, I haven't had my hair cut in a while. Let me just go get my hair cut. I'm so glad I did, because now I won't look like gruffy Schlumpadinka, sweet all distance. But I don't think I've worn makeup since maybe the first weekend in March, when I went to a whiskey tasting. Oh, remember when you could go to whiskey tastings? Back in on the first weekend in March with my friend Pamela. And it was great. It was like a nice little, every table had at least 4 to 6 different bourbons, whiskeys, ryes, and scotches to try. And I tried all of them. And it was a good time. And I ended up going to work the next day. It was rough. And that was probably the last good weekend any of us had before real life came in and took away all of our outside joys. So Mama needs to buy more whiskey. Thank you, Danielle. So let's talk about my sparkly tunic. I got this from this place called Flamingo in Bushwick. It's an old school, like vintage used clothing, secondhand clothing place where you can where you buy stuff for the by the pound. Hi, Fernanda. I got Fernanda's jacket here, where they weigh you. Everything has a price per pound, and they weigh it, so you only pay for how much it weighs. So I think this little number cost me like $12 altogether. It's very Leslie Uggams does the duplex. It's very Liza Minnelli, makes an appearance on Oprah. It's Dorothy Zbornak is going to a charity gala. She would be wearing this with the widest pants possible, with giant earrings. Dorothy Zbornak has a soft spot in my heart because she reminds me of my grandmother. And Mika and Cherie can attest to this, that Mommy Dada and my grandmother looked just like B. Arthur, but brown. Same haircut, same deep, resonant voice, same love of shoulder pads. Vendetta didn't meet a shoulder pad that she didn't absolutely adore. If it didn't have shoulder pads in it, she wasn't going to wear it. She even had all times a stash of shoulder pads that you could just put in your, like, attached to your bra, so that you would always have some structure. Yes, B. Arthur and Mommy Dada looked alike, very much. Like look at the Golden Girls, look at Dorothy Zbornak, and that was my grandmother, just a brown lady. Oh, and ma'am, she would always, I think it's because, and I figured it out now that I'm an older lady, and I too am tall with long arms, that rolling up your sleeves on things solves the problem of your arms being too long for stuff. So as a long-armed tall person, there's lots of stuff that hits me at a weird part of my wrist. So just solve the problem by just scrunching up your sleeves. Never shoulder pad, scrunched up sleeve, wide pants, big gray hair. That was my grandmother. Long arms and big boobs. That's how we solve the problem. You solve the problem of long arms and big boobs by just scrunching up your sleeves. That's how that works. So I can only see y'all good out of one eye. This eye. This is the good eye. Because this one is covered. Oh, Sophia, this picture of Glenn Levitt. Yes. I should go get some of that. I'm looking at it like a long lost lover. She knows what's up, Fernanda. She knows the deal. She knows what it's like to be long-armed and big boobed. She wears camisoles of her. I should have it delivered and tipped well. You know what? Funny you should say that. Having it delivered and tipped well. I have tried to put in like food kick orders and fresh direct orders for liquor and things, and it's been real hard to find delivery slots. So I might just have to venture out into the world, but not far. Whenever I've left, I've tried to just stay within the 3 blocks that I live in. And I got plenty of liquor stores within a 3-block radius. So considering that liquor and wine stores have been deemed an essential service that can remain open, like, I'm not a big fan, Andrew Cuomo, but thanks. You're not a bum, Amit. Never. We drink Beam Black when we have to drink Beam Black. All right? You elevate the drink. The drink doesn't de-elevate you. I don't know if de-elevate is the correct word, but we'll go with it. Yes, Odette, you do wear men's jackets. I do have my fair amount of men's jackets as well, especially leather jackets because the arms tend to be longer. You know what we haven't done? We haven't talked about skin yet. I'm going for 16 minutes. We have yet to talk about faces. Hey, I'm just going to open up the floor. Does anyone have any pressing questions about their face? Is anything going on with your face right now that you need assistance with? Has your face gone crazy because you haven't left the house? Are you asking if you still need sunscreen despite the fact that you're on the inside? Are you worried about not getting the proper amounts of vitamin D because you can't go outside? Are you worried about anything? This sherry is strong. Is this what rich men in England used to drink after work? The skin. Hi, first of all, hi, Lene. Love you. The skin on your eyelids has gotten dry. What does one do for stress breakouts? I don't know. Have you considered maybe reducing your stress? I kid. That's not possible. I'm not sure what the fuck that means. I'm not sure what the fuck that means either. Yeah, microwave isn't here. Okay, we're gonna take one question at a time. It's gonna be real, professional. I'm just gonna make a note. I'm gonna make notes. Dry eyelid skin. Wow, I can't see. I can see, but I can't see. Lene, are you using an eye cream? I don't know if I've ever given you an eye cream suggestion in the past. It could be that because you've had dry skin on your eyelids before, and I know that you've maybe you do need one. You got to start using an eye cream. We all should be using an eye cream from the day that we are, born, but really, like, once you hit 18, it's time to start using an eye cream. Eye creams are formulated to work just on the eye skin. They're not heavy. They shouldn't be heavy, at least. So you should be, for you, Lene, I would say get something really lightweight. The next time you're down to the Target, the Bliss Explosion eye cream is good. Not just saying that because they happen to pay my bills. It's a good eye cream. It's lightweight. You only need literally like the size of a lentil. Put it on your ring finger because your ring finger is your weakest finger, and just tap, 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 tap. Right on your orbital bone. Don't get it too close. It's going to get into your eye. Why? Let me tell you why. Because the heat from your skin, heat from your body spreads product. So if you get the eye cream too close to your eye, it's going to actually go in your eye, and then you're going to start to tear up and burn, and you're going to be, you're going to think that your eye cream you're allergic to it, but really you're using it either too close to your eye or you're using too much of it. You really don't need a lot of eye cream. You just got to dab, dab, dab. eye cream. Also, I think there's one from La Roche-Posay that is good too. I'm just thinking of like easily accessible drugstore things for you to look into because, you know, our options on where to get things is kind of limited. If you happen to be able to score some Sephora bucks, you can definitely order from them a couple of different eye creams. If you're interested in brightening the eye area, Ola Henriksen's banana eye cream is actually really good. If I hadn't just bought an eye cream in December, I would probably try that one next, but I have one from LMS. Actually, talk to me again offline. Talk to me again offline. I just made a big circle to get to talk to me again offline, but eye cream. Eye cream, eye cream. Stress breakouts. Sedat and stress breakouts. You have a lot of tools already because you are one of my faces and I've given you lots of stuff to use. Stress breakouts are hard because it's caused by cortisol and adrenaline, all different kinds of hormones. The important thing is not to pick them. This is me looking deep into your soul. Imagine me looking at you from 3,000 miles away in your eyeballs, in your cornea, in your retina, and telling you not to pick them. I love you, but don't pick them. Keep your face nice and clean. Change your pillowcases on a regular basis. Try to keep your locks out of your face, which I'm sure that you do anyway, but try extra hard. Try not to touch your face too much. Drink lots of water. Also, find different moments in your day to try and reset. Start meditating. Just take 15, 20 minutes a day to just sit with your thoughts. Or find a thing that you like to do that brings you joy. For you, I know it's music. Listen to some opera. Listen to some Jeff Buckley. Listen to, what's that one band that you had me listen to at your apartment one night? They had that song called Pay Dearly. I can't remember their name to save my life. But do some calming, soothing things. Try not to stress out too much. I know you personally, so I know that can be difficult, but just try to find some different points in the day where you can decompress. FaceTime Geraldine. Nothing brings you joy like fussing at your mama. Fuss at her. Fernanda, antimicrobial. When you say antimicrobial, what do you mean? Do you mean antibacterial? Do you mean acne fighting? Johnny Swim. Yes, Lene, Johnny Swim. I know you do that daily and you keep doing that daily. Fernanda, tell me what you mean by antimicrobial and I can expound on that. Are we all taking a vitamin D supplement? We should all be taking a vitamin D supplement no matter what. But particularly now that we're not necessarily allowed to go outside so much and we're not going to get any natural exposure to the sun, we need to be taking a vitamin D supplement. The one I take is just a regular over-the-counter, got it from the internet. That's a 3 times a day supplement that you take morning, basically with every meal, morning, afternoon, evening. Really, I didn't realize that my lack of energy and general malaise was from vitamin D deficiency. But the second I started taking vitamin D, it maybe took a week to 10 days before I noticed, oh, wait, I have the will to live. That's fun. That's interesting. The one I have also comes, you shouldn't take vitamin D unless it comes with calcium because the two need each other for absorption. The vitamin D is needed to absorb calcium. The calcium is needed to absorb vitamin D. They're interlinked. But it has vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, and zinc, which is also good for immunity in these times when we're all worried about getting sick. Sorry, that was dead air. If this was a call center phone call, I would have failed this call. Kia. Hi, Kia. What kind of skincare routine should we work on while we're at home these days? Now is a great time to work on hyperpigmentation since we were talking about sun exposure. So if you have been working for a long time on evening out skin tone, helping with acne scarring or sun damage, all that stuff, now is a great time to put yourself on a regular and stringent exfoliation routine that involves the use of chemical exfoliation. One of the biggest hurdles to clearing up hyperpigmentation is sun exposure, which is why every esthetician that you'll ever talk to ever in your life is going to tell you to use SPF if you're concerned about hyperpigmentation, because sun exposure increases melanin production. It's called getting a tan. But since we're not outside anyway, you don't have to worry about that sun exposure. Now is a great time to focus on evening out your skin tone. Now, we're all gonna be so goddamn pasty when this is all over. I mean, I'm already pasty. I went on vacation in January. This is my old tan line. It's been almost 3 months, and it's like nothing happened. I also exfoliate a lot, so that probably has a lot to do with it. Anyway, we're all going to be really pasty and pale when this is over. But if you're working on hyperpigmentation, now's a great time to focus on it. And also by working on hyperpigmentation, because you're doing lots of regular exfoliation, that's also going to address any pore size issues you may be having. It's going to address any texture issues you might be having. Exfoliation is kind of like a one-stop shop to really take care of a whole bunch of different issues that you may be having. And depending on the kind of exfoliation that you do, it can also address breakouts. Now, for Nandi's question, she expounded on her question via the text message, and thanks to the power of Apple devices, I was able to get the text message right here on my computer. She was so when she meant by antimicrobial was things that can kill viruses. The only thing that can kill viruses on the skin surface is soap and water. I am not a doctor. Did I mention I'm not a doctor? I'm not a doctor. But when you're talking about stuff for your skin, I want to make sure I'm answering this correctly and I'm not misguiding anybody. When it comes to your skin, it's all about just keeping the skin surface clean. So we've seen, maybe you haven't, but we've seen a lot on the internet. It's been going around the internet a lot lately about why washing your hands and washing regularly is such an important tool in the fight against communicable diseases. So this is a virus, all right? Viruses swim. Viruses are covered in a lipid layer. Lipid, fancy word for fat or oil, right? It's covered in a layer of lipids. It's what protects the virus. It's what keeps the virus alive. It's what keeps the virus alive on surfaces so that you can touch it. It gets on your skin, and then you touch your face, and it's, oh my God, it's in my body, and now you're sick. Using soap, any sort of soap that is alkaline and it has a higher pH than the virus, is going to dissolve that lipid layer that is protecting the virus so that the virus dies. That's why soap, that's why water, that's why 20 to 30 seconds for doing this thing. Now, in that same vein of lipid layers that protect things, anytime you're using a cleanser, any sort of cleanser is going to help to break down lipids and oils in the skin because they're two different pHs. So most lipidy, oily things tend to be acidic. So that means that they have a pH of 6 or lower. The human skin has a pH anywhere between 4.5 and 5.5. That's kind of what the healthy zone is. So viruses and their lipid layer I am not sure, I'm just going on a thread here, may possibly have similar pHs, which is why using an alkaline soap helps to break that down and kill them. So all that to say is why washing with soap and water regularly every day, all the time, and then cleaning surfaces and killing bacteria on surfaces and viruses on surfaces is important. Don't ever, and I feel like I don't have to say this, but just in case I do, because I want to cover all my bases, never use anything that is a surface antiviral or a surface antibacterial on your actual skin, because you're going to strip your skin. You're going to rip your skin off. It's going to be too strong. It's going to give you what dermatologists call contact dermatitis, which is a rash or flaky skin, or it's going to make your skin dry. Your skin's going to and it's not going to literally fall off, but you're going to think it's going to fall off. So whenever you're like doing any of your sanitation processes in your house for your own peace of mind, please be sure to wear gloves. Gloves are going to save a lot of things. However, all right, because I'm an esthetician, I'm going to go on this. I'm going to go on this tangent. Let's talk about proper glove usage. Using gloves is great if you want to try and protect yourself out here in the world. You kind of defeat the purpose of using the gloves if you're going to do all of the same things while wearing the gloves that you would do without wearing the gloves. So I'm talking about having gloves on, but still being on your phone. Because now just the germs that are on the gloves that you've been protecting yourself from are now on your phone, right? Wearing the gloves and still touching your face. Wearing the gloves and still like touching other people. It would actually behoove you probably a little bit more. Whatever you need to do to make yourself feel safe, please do it. But it would probably work out a little bit better if you would just constantly be using hand sanitizer instead of wearing gloves. Unless you are somebody who is really concerned about communicating or passing along your own germs to other people, then maybe wear the gloves. But if you're going to wear gloves, be as non-touchy as you can. I have managed in every time I've left the house in the last 10 days to 2 weeks to walk out of my house, walk out of my job, walk out of a venue, and I don't touch my phone. I hit play and let the music play as it may. I also have alcohol wipes that I wipe my phone down with while I'm out. Before I go out, when I come home, I wipe my phone down with alcohol. But make sure that you're not just wasting the gloves by just wearing them and then doing all the normal things. It's not necessarily going to protect you more. It will make you feel better. So if it makes you feel better, have at it. Sharing important libraries, yes. Cherie, how often should you do an overnight mask? Whenever you want to. Whenever you feel extra dry. Whenever you feel like your skin needs more love. I mean, safe practice, no more than 3 times a week, but masks are on a need to use basis unless you're talking about something that's exfoliating. If you're doing something exfoliating, then try not to do it more than twice a week. But if you're, for you specifically, because I know you personally and I know your face, no more than twice a week for you. But if you're just doing something calming or hydrating or brightening or whatever, do it whenever you feel like it. Rich Englishmen drink sherry to kill off the remnants of their compassion. Once pores are clogged, is extraction the only remedy? It's not the only remedy, but it's the fastest and most effective one. If you're trying to deal with clogged pores and you do have a clogged T-zone or clogged pores in your skin, and you want to reset everything real quick, I do suggest going to get a professional facial so that they can do some extractions. Then once you've done the facial, that is a fantastic time to put yourself on a new pore clearing or a new regimen that addresses your blackheads and the issues you may have with your pores, because that's a nice reset. You go in, have somebody clean up your face, clean up all the areas in your face that you're worried about, clear out the debris in whichever method that esthetician uses. And then once you start a new regimen after that, you can see for sure if it works. Because if you just start it out of the blue, it may take a little bit longer for you to notice if it, I'm talking. If my sister Christy is watching, I am talking about large pores. I hope you're happy. Going and getting a professional facial and having everything cleaned out, you may notice that your new routine works more effectively than just kind of starting from square one without having seen a facial or seen a facialist or an esthetician. It takes anywhere, depending on age and your own body chemistry, it takes anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks for you to see the difference of using a new product, a new routine, a new regimen, having new habits, especially when it comes to clogged pores. Because the best way to get rid of clogged pores is to use some sort of chemical ingredient, so an alpha or beta hydroxy acid or a combination of the two, to speed up skin cell turnover, clean the pores, dissolve oil, address hyperpigmentation, kind of push all of that dirt and grime up to the surface so it purges a little bit faster. You'll notice the difference more quickly if you start with a fresh face after a facial than you would from just starting from square one with a not recently facialed face. I'm saying this knowing that right now is not a great time for you to go out and get a facial, but it doesn't mean you can't try and still use the products anyway. It just might take another couple of weeks for you to see results. It might be closer to 6 weeks rather than 4 weeks before you see a significant difference. Lene, you're my hero. Sephora Skincare line Sephora Skincare line has been, yes, Danielle, Sephora Skincare line has been clutch these days. I have used a couple of their moisturizers and I'm not, I am Danielle, Lene, I hope you saw that Danielle, big ups the Sephora Skin eye cream. Hi, Arkeem. Oh, the comments jumped. I promise I'm not an old lady who doesn't know how technology works. This is just new technology to me. Anti-Miss Rona. Down with Miss Rona. Down with Miss Rona. Hi, Genaria. Yes, on vitamin D and magnesium. Can you advise on how to properly tweeze facial hair? Pros and cons. Well, if there's one thing I'm an expert on, it's facial hair. So, story time. So, your friend Nandi here, she dealt with chronic facial hair for a really long time. I struggled with the side effects of polycystic ovarian syndrome in my 20s and a little bit in my 30s, which, comes with irregular periods, hormonal imbalance. One of my biggest symptoms and biggest things I had to deal with was excessive facial hair. I probably had a mustache. And I'm sure someone has a light-skinned girl with a mustache joke in there somewhere, and I'm allowing you to make it. Probably from the time I was maybe 16 or 17. And then by freshman to sophomore year at college probably is when I started, maybe even before that. Maybe it was more like senior year of high school, freshman year of college. I started noticing that I was starting to get more chin hair. And it was the bane of my fucking existence. I did all the things. I used depilatories, I waxed, I tweezed. I did everything but shave because I knew that shaving would probably be bad for me. I did like 1 or 2 treatments of electrolysis, which is one of the top 5 most painful things I've ever done in my life to this day. Actually, it's probably the 3rd most painful thing I've ever done in my life. I've had abscesses removed from areas of my body that were less uncomfortable and painful than this woman tweezing and electrocuting my hair follicles for an hour. That's probably the worst thing I did as far as like pain level. I couldn't touch my face for a week. It was so bad. I digress. Eventually I ended up getting laser hair removal in my early 30s, and that was super effective. It got rid of probably about 90% of the hair, but now once I tackled the polycystic ovarian syndrome hair, now I've got old lady hair. I'm a happening cool aunt in her 40s who now has whiskers, which is fun. And I would get them lasered if I was at work. It's fine. Best way to tweeze your face. Clean face, clean hands, clean tweezers. I'm not drunk. Clean tweezers. Make sure your tweezers have been sitting in some alcohol for about 5 minutes, because you want to make sure that you kill any bacteria living on them, so that you don't end up transferring any bacteria into the hair follicle, because the hair follicle and the pore are the same thing, the same opening. So this is there it is. So this is the opening. This is the pore. This is where the hair comes out, a hair follicle, and wherever pimples and sebum and bacteria collect are all the same thing right here. So anything that you're using that might have an excessive amount of bacteria on, it's going to get down here and cause a pimple. So you want to make sure that you're using clean tools. Do it on a freshly washed face, because you also want to take care of any excess oils and bacteria that may be on the skin surface. Don't tweeze too often, especially for us women of color, because tweezing and doing that is kind of it's causing a little bit of friction, and friction is our enemy as melanated queens, because friction causes hyperpigmentation. It's why some of us have dark underarms. It's why our inner thighs are extra chocolatey. It's why you'll notice. It's why a lot of us have that darkness on our shoulders from wearing bras. All my big-breasted women in the chat, stand up. So you don't want to do it too often, because it's causing that extra friction. If the hair's too short for you to get, leave it alone. I promise no one else can see it but you. Leave it alone. Try to only do it every 10 days to 2 weeks. And I know that sounds like a lifetime, but really don't do it too often, because you're just going to scar yourself. And this goes back to me lovingly urging someone not to pick their face. Here's why you shouldn't pick your face. And I know you want to. It's your face. You feel entitled to do it. Please don't. Here's why. So our pain tolerance is different when we're working on ourselves versus when we're working with someone else. So for example, if I'm giving Sharia facial, I am never going to use the same amount of pressure, the same amount of strength that I'm going to use on myself, because there's this little piece in my brain, don't know where it is, but it's in here somewhere, that's like, I know this is going to hurt, but I don't want to apply more pressure than I need to, because I don't want this to be super uncomfortable. So I'm always going to apply the correct amount of pressure. Also, because I'm a professional. I don't know if you know that, but I'm a professional. I'm also going to apply the correct amount of pressure to get the job done. When you're on yourself, your sense of pain is completely different. So you are going to use way more pressure, way more strength. You're going to use your jagged little nails, and you're going to scar yourself. Why? Part of that scarring is the friction of pressing into your skin. Acne scarring, the super fancy professional name for acne scarring, is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, or post-inflammatory pigmentation. That is pigmentation that comes from the skin being injured. So with friction, the skin can be injured. With poking, the skin can be injured. With an acne eruption, the skin is injured. And that pigmentation that happens as the skin goes from pink to brown, that is post-inflammatory pigmentation. So don't do it often. Do it with everything clean, your hands, your tweezers, your face. Do it, while your skin is nice and warm, And don't go after anything that's not ready. Leave it be. I promise that hair will be ready in a couple of days if you give it some time. Yes, Annette, that was personal and you did need it. Soaking mask and power like an apply. Stereotype Rebel, hi. Thinking of soaking masks in the power liquid and applying that to my skin for slower but deeper absorption. Try it and see. It can't hurt. It can't hurt to try and see what happens. As long as you're doing it on fresh, clean skin, it shouldn't be a problem. How do you feel? How do I feel? Miss Lottie 8, hi. How do I feel about ordering beauty products off of Amazon? I have mixed emotions about it, especially when you're talking about products that come from really popular or more high-end skincare brands. Let's take SkinCeuticals, for example. If you know me, you know that I love SkinCeuticals very, very much. They were one of the first high-end brands I ever used, and I'm still stuck on them. I don't ever want to pay full price for them, but if I had to, I would. I love them that much. I do have the occasional client that comes in and says that they got let's say, one of their most popular products from SkinCeuticals is all of their antioxidants. So their CE ferulic serum or their Fluorin CF serum. I've had more than a few guests come in and say, ooh, I scored a couple of bottles of this product from SkinCeuticals on Amazon. And my concern with that is that with Amazon, you are not sure where that product is coming from. You don't know when that product was made. You don't know if it's coming directly from SkinCeuticals or if it's coming from somebody who bought the product from somebody who bought the product from somebody who may have possibly bought the product from SkinCeuticals. Because sometimes, especially with retailers that resell their unsold stock to somebody who then takes that stock and sells it to somebody else and then takes that product and puts it on Amazon, you're not 100% sure of what the chain of possession is on that. So while you might be saving a little bit of money, you're not 100% sure that it's coming directly from the manufacturer or where or how long ago the manufacturer made that product. That's why it's important it's important to order things directly from reputable sources. Not saying Amazon is not a reputable source, but because Amazon allows third-party sellers to sell their things. Remember the guy in Kentucky who tried to sell his hand sanitizer but couldn't because he was price gouging like that? Those kinds of sellers can sell things. So you're not 100% sure where it's coming from. Unless it is an official store. If SkinCeuticals has an official store that happens to sell through Amazon, they use Amazon as like a distribution channel, if that makes sense, then be fine with it. But I wouldn't buy high-end brands off of Amazon. If it's something like Tony Moly or some like Korean brand or it's some like sort of unknown brand that you're willing to spend the money on, and if it doesn't work, you'll be fine, then it's fine. But try not to buy anything high-end because you're not 100% sure where that product came from. It's really easy to check batch numbers on things. So every product that has been made, I'm trying to look for an example. On the bottom of every beauty product, you'll see a couple of things. You'll see a little canister with a number in it that tells you the number of months that you have to use that product from the date that it is opened. This is also true for anything that may be in like an airtight cylinder. From the time you hit that first pump, you have a certain amount of time to use that product before it goes bad on you. So you'll see that little canister with a number in it. You'll also see a batch number in black lettering, and it can look any varying different kinds of way. You can go to, there's a couple of different sources online. You can Google it, like Googling like check batch number. I think Check Fresh is one. You can put the batch number for that brand into their system and they will tell you when that product was made, and you'll know if a product was made more than 3 years ago, you shouldn't be putting it on your face. This is particularly true of products like antioxidant serums, anything that uses alpha or beta hydroxy acids, anything that's an exfoliating product. You don't want to use anything that was made 3 years ago. Do you know what we were doing 3 years ago? What were we doing 3 years ago? What were we doing in March 2017? Who knows? I don't remember. It seems like a lifetime ago, which is why you don't want to use anything that was made in 2017 on your face. Like in reputable establishments and spas and nail salons and salons, hair salons, we are not allowed to use product that has been made over a certain time because it's not going to be effective and we can't use it on guests. So keep that in mind when looking at things on Amazon. I'm not saying Amazon is the devil, but I'm kind of saying that Amazon contributes to being the devil. Arkeem has a question about serums. What step in the process do they fall? Day or night? Depends on the serum, baby boy. The key rule when putting on your products is to layer things lightest to heaviest like you would for your clothing. So depending on how heavy or emollient your serum is where you want to put it. Ideally, you cleanse, you tone, you put on your serum, eye cream or eye cream serum. Those two spots can really interchangeable. And then you put on your moisturizer / SPF. If you're like me and you wear more than one serum a day and a night, then you layer from lightest serum to heaviest serum. I'm trying to think of when there's an exception to that rule. Some estheticians would tell you that your first layer should always be antioxidants. So if you're using an antioxidant serum, that should be the first thing that you put on. I do not disagree. Just depends on what else you're using. For me, I do tend to, depending on whichever I reach for first, I'll put on my antioxidant serum and then my hyaluronic acid serum, and sometimes I switch. I don't think it's a big deal. There might be someone out there who is very, very strictly antioxidants first, which I totally understand. There's also a school of aesthetic thought that thinks retinols should go first. And that kind of depends on where you're at in your own personal retinol journey. For me, because I probably started using retinols regularly over a year ago, so I might not need to do this anymore, but I tend to buffer my retinol by putting my hyaluronic acid serum on first, because it's really, I use Dr. Dennis Gross's, I kind of switch between Dr. Dennis Gross's Marine booster and the Ordinary's not alpha arbutin. It's their version of it. I cannot remember. Amino acids. Yes. So I switch between Dr. Dennis Gross's Marine booster and the amino acids from the Ordinary. They're light and they're very, very, very watery. So because they're so light, I will just naturally put that on first and really work that into my skin, and then put my retinol on top of that. And that usually will kind of regulate and kind of buffer my skin for the retinol. Because if you haven't been using retinols for a long time, or if you're new to the retinol game, you don't want to go balls to the wall and slap all of it on your face at one time and use it every night for a week, because your skin's going to freak out. So it's best to introduce them slowly. But that was a really, really long answer to your question. Lightest to heaviness. Use in day or night, depends on what kind of serum you're using. I use a hyaluronic acid morning and evening, but I will use, let's say my retinol treatment is going to go on at night in place of what my antioxidant serum is in the morning. So it depends on what you're doing. All exfoliation should happen at night. AHAs and BHAs are the truth. They are. I haven't known anything. They have yet to lie to me. They've never misguided me. They've done nothing but be good to me. Baby girl, you are not the only person who keeps tweezers everywhere in this chat. Sadet has said that we are out here. Dark underarms. No, actually, you shouldn't shave them because of what I said earlier about friction. A lot of the reason why our underarms tend to be darker is from the friction of shaving and also the friction of being people who move your arms, right? Waxing your underarms is a way better option if you're trying to tackle darkness in your underarms. So sometimes part of that darkness that you're seeing, especially if you happen to have coarse underarm hair, is you're actually seeing the hair follicles in there sometimes. when you wax, you take that hair out at the root, you don't really see the hair follicle. Also, the hair comes back over time really fine and really sparse, so you don't have to wax as often as you have to shave. I actually can't even wax my underarms anymore. If I wax, no, sorry, take it back. To Sherry. I can't shave my underarms anymore because my skin gets so irritated and it itches so badly when it comes back that I'll just wax. Thank God I waxed on a whim before this was all over. So whenever we end up back out in the real world and I go back to work, it is going to be a tragedy under here. Whew. So no, don't shave, try to wax, but revisit this when we're able to go back out in public. Thank you, Dee. Make a hug, Dee, for me. And hug your child for me, too. No, Cherie. Don't get your skincare from TJ Maxx or Home Goods. Yeah, no. Sometimes you can. I wouldn't recommend it because you don't. And here's what's specific about TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls, Nordstrom Rack. Even though I love me some Nordstrom Rack, I have a pair of loafers that are out there floating in the universe right now. I have no idea when they're going to show up. Oh, I really wanted those loafers. No, you shouldn't get, you should be wary of getting skincare from Marshalls and TJ Maxx because you don't know where they got it from. They follow the same supply chain that Amazon can, where they bought it from a retailer who couldn't sell it, who bought a retailer who couldn't sell it, who bought it from the original maker who had extra to give. That's what happened when Bliss did our big rebrands a couple of years ago. All of the old SKUs ended up getting sold to like TJ Maxx and Marshalls and Nordstrom Rack and other retailers. So I had guests coming in going, "Oh, look what I found." I was like, I know from the batch number because not that I know Bliss batch numbers by heart, but I know how to read them. I'm like, "Oh, honey, this was made when Obama was still in office. So you don't want to put this on your body." So no. Just buy candles from TJ Maxx and Home Goods. No more skincare. Ooh, vegan Napa kimchi. Oh, that's all the questions for now. Well, I did get a question via the internet from a lovely young woman named Natalie. She spells it in a very unique and happening way. So I'm just gonna assume it's Natalie. Natalie, if you're here, please let me know if I'm saying your name wrong. As someone with a very unique name, I try very hard to get people's names correct. So please correct me if I'm wrong. Now, remind you, I have like eyeliner on this eye, so I'm reading with my bad eye. So Natalie asked, she had 2 questions. I'm doing this like it helps. It doesn't. What are the basic essentials of a skincare routine, and how does a new climate affect skin, and what can you do to figure out what your skin needs to regulate again? This is a very timely question because we know people who have relocated. Also, with us being more indoors versus outdoors, we have changed the major climate that we're kind of existing in. So it's a very timely question. Thank you, Natalie. Basic essentials for a daily skincare routine. The answer that I gave her was very long, so I'm going to try to give you an abridged version of my answer. My basic skincare essentials for any routine are a good cleansing system, a solid eye cream, as I've already discussed the importance of eye cream before, and finding a moisturizer that fits your skin's needs at specific times. So I can kind of combine the answer of both things. So depending on where we are in our lives, where we are geographically, where we are chemically with our bodies, our skin can do weird, different things. I tend to try to pay attention and be in tune with my skin a lot because I know that it can go through varying changes based on the time of year, based on what I'm eating, based on what I'm not eating, based on what I'm drinking, based on what I'm not drinking. So I am very aware of whatever my face is doing, it really helps to kind of know what to look for. So if you're an oily skin person like myself, see how all this light is reflecting off of the high points of my face? That's grease. If you're oily like myself, our skin is always trying to find a balance. So if you're noticing that your skin is getting oilier faster, that your skin is getting greasy, that you can put your makeup on at 8 or 9 a.m. and you look like you've been frying chicken for 6 hours by the time 10 o'clock hits, that usually means that it usually means that your skin is dehydrated. I just read what you wrote, Sheree. It means your skin's thirsty. Oily skin can be thirsty skin. So it means your skin is really trying to find hydration to continue and go on. When that's happening, it means you need to boost your hydration and your moisture. Let's talk for a second really briefly about hydration versus moisture. So when I say hydration, I mean water. When I say moisture, I mean oil or lipids. Your skin needs both to live. You need a unique balance of water and oil for your skin to go on. Water is what keeps your skin plump. Water is what keeps your skin smooth. Water is what supports your skin's ability to create collagen and elastin, which, fine lines and wrinkles, which we're all eventually going to be super worried about, if not already. I'm not saying that I am, but having appropriate water content enables your skin to create collagen and elastin effectively to keep your skin strong and plump and smooth looking. Lipids or oils are what protect your skin and nourish your skin. So I think of oils as helping to provide structure. So, well, maybe not. So collagen and elastin, their fibers, help give your skin its plumpness, right? But oils kind of like help support that process and help nourish your skin and keep your skin strong. Having a strong lipid layer is to protect your skin from environmental factors like cold, winds, dreaded free radicals, smoke, pollution, all that bad stuff. So you need to have a good combination of both. And depending on your skin and depending on where you are in your own personal journey, it can take a while to find that perfect balance. It's why I always recommend using a hyaluronic acid serum along with your moisturizer to make sure that your skin has both things so that your skin has all of the elements it needs to be healthy. So if you're oily and you're noticing that your skin is getting super greasy super fast, it's time to boost up your hydration and your moisture. If you're the opposite, if you tend to be on the drier side and you notice your skin starts to have that, what I call like a shrink wrap feeling, where it feels like it's getting really tight, that's how my skin goes in the desert. My body hates the desert. If you're feeling that your skin is getting really dry really quickly, or you're feeling like whatever moisturizer you put on just gets sucked up really quickly and it feels like nothing happened within 30 minutes to 2 hours, then you need to be using something a little bit more richer, a little bit more nourishing, a little bit heavier for your skin. Still using a hyaluronic acid because all of those components are still necessary, but you may need to use a moisturizer that is a little bit richer. And when your skin goes extra dry, you can notice that you get breakouts because your skin's trying to find, again, that balance. So you're maybe creating more oil or your skin. Our skin freaks out for no reason whatsoever. It just does what it does. And sometimes excessive dryness can cause breakouts. And irritation and redness and splotchiness, and you'll notice that your makeup doesn't go on as smooth. It just means that you need to use a better moisturizer. Because I'm oily, I tend, especially for the daytime, I tend to like more lightweight cream gel or gel cream formulas for me. Even as a woman of a certain age, I like to use cream gel formulations because I hate heaviness on my face. I just feel like my face is suffocating. So that is why I will layer 2 serums and then a light moisturizer on top. And that usually gives me all the serum, all the moisture and hydration that I need. On a perfect day, all right, let's talk about a perfect day for Nandi. If we're being good. Okay, my skincare routine is probably 6 to 7 steps on both morning and evening. So I cleanse, I double cleanse. Put a pin in it. We'll come back to double cleansing. We're at an hour and 5 minutes. We're going to wrap this up, I promise. Put a pin in it. We'll come back to double cleansing. So cleansing, toning, and then either eye cream, let's just say eye cream for example's sake. Then hyaluronic acid serum, antioxidant serum. Those 2 steps are interchangeable. One or the other will go on first. Then I will use a niacinamide serum. I use the Metacell Renewal Serum from SkinCeuticals, which I am almost out of, which is a terrible time to be out of serum. The SkinCeuticals Metacell Renewal Serum, which is actually a little bit heavier than a serum, but lighter than a moisturizer. So because I'm using the other serums, sometimes that'll just be my moisturizer, but not always. And then my SPF on top of that, and then I leave for the day. Nighttime is different. Double cleanse again, using an oil and a regular cleanser. Tone, eye cream. I will always put my eye cream on first because then I'm layering on, after that, I'm layering on either a retinol, a nighttime exfoliating serum, or a serum that's a little bit more moisturizing and anti-aging. And I don't want the residue from that on my hands when I put on my eye cream. Because sometimes if you have residue of retinol or some sort of glycolic or alpha or beta hydroxy acid product on your fingers, and you put your eye cream on after that, there could be residual product that'll get on your eye skin and cause a little bit of irritation in your eye area, which you don't want. So eye cream is my first step, no matter what I'm doing. And then I'll put on either my retinol serum, my hyaluronic acid serum, and then my night cream. Did I answer all the questions? Climate, pay attention to your face. And then adjust accordingly. It can be a bit of a trial and error, and it may take a little bit of time. But if you, in a better world, when we're all allowed outside again, you can go to places and get samples of things and see if your face likes it. This would be a good time to talk about some of the moisturizers I've used in recent months that I enjoy. If you like a lightweight moisturizer, the Drench and Quench from Bliss is good. Belief's Aqua Bomb is good. If you like something that's kind of mid-weight, the Polypeptide Cream, it's kind of like a weird gel cream balm from Drunk Elephant. Drunk Elephant has some really unique and interesting textures. So the Polypeptide Serum from them, that serum moisturizer from them is actually really good. I took it with me on vacation and I really enjoyed it. If you like something a little bit richer and you maybe want to spend the money, Elemis's Pro Collagen Marine Cream is hands down one of my favorite moisturizers, especially if you are on the other side of 35 and you're looking to support your hydration so that you can support your anti-aging concerns. It's a higher price point, but it works. And I wouldn't send you to a higher price point if it didn't work. You do know better and you can do better. You can go to Marshall's, just not for your skincare. Yes. Wash your hands. Everybody. I'm sorry that the TJ Maxx answer hurt a lot of feelings. And I feel like we can all get through this together. I wouldn't tell you this if I didn't mean it. Because I do. I want you all to be great. It is your face. You should spend the money. If you got it, spend it. If you got it, spend it. Do you guys have any more questions, comments, concerns? Any fun things you want to talk about? How are your children doing? How's it going being for those of you who have children and you're helping to teach them at home, how's that going? Because I feel like teachers should be paid more money. It takes a whole lot of patience. I love that my sister is texting me. Christy wants to know. Well, I talked about large pores already. I love you. Adult acne, how to get rid of it. I have you on a whole routine, but adult acne. So some of us had puberty and had acne then. Some of us have acne later on in our 30s and 40s because you don't get out of this life alive without it. Usually you have to change. It's usually because it's hormonal based. It's usually diet. When we get to this part of our lives, we have to give up dairy. I know it sucks. It's terrible for me. And I'm somebody who still hasn't 100% give up milk because I still eat milk in my cereal because I hate anything that isn't regular milk in my cereal. I'm a weirdo. I also love cheese. I won't let her go. It's usually diet, exercise, stress, water content. You have 4 children, Christy, so it's hard to manage your stress levels. But I will call you later and we'll talk about it, I promise. I do not have a Patreon, but I do, if you want to, I'll put it here I'll put my Cash App. If you feel so inclined and you found that this information was informative and entertaining and you want to tip me, you can do so at our friend Cash App. My Cash App tag is $GlamBam. If you feel so inclined. I also have like a Venmo too, but I can't remember what it is at the moment. Okay, I see why Englishmen drank sherry, because after a while, you don't even care what you're drinking. All right, guys, we're hitting the hour 12 mark. I am so happy that you joined me. Tamika, you don't have to take notes. You can actually rewatch. You can actually rewatch this video. It'll be up on my channel forever. My channel. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It'll be up on the internet forever. So you can watch it, rewatch it whenever you want to, on all of your devices, all of your streamings, your Rokus, your Fire Sticks, your Chromecasts, your Blu-ray DVD players, all that good stuff. Angelica has a question. I've heard anecdotally that copper peptides may encourage ingrown hairs. Encourage as in make them worse, or encourage as in keep them away? Will I be able to add my wonderful Twitter vids to my channel? I don't see why not. I certainly could. They're all living in my cloud. I can just put them up there. Totally want people to watch me on the internet with no makeup on. It's totally fine. Make them worse. In my professional experience, I haven't found that to be true. If anything, more moisture is going to be good for ingrown hairs, in that part of the problem of an ingrown hair, thank you for asking an ingrown hair question, because I don't think anybody's asked one yet, is that so the hair will start to grow, and instead of coming up and breaking through the skin like normal, it'll get trapped by like sebum and dry skin, and it'll become trapped and coiled and become an ingrown hair and get full of, pus and bacteria and gross stuff. I'm going to have to research that and get back to you, because I always want to make sure that I have as much information as possible so that I can give you as informed an answer as possible. In my experience, whenever I've encountered somebody who suffers from ingrown hairs, my recommendation is always regular exfoliation, constant moisturization. Don't touch it. Don't pick, constantly moisturize, regularly exfoliate, pray for the best. And this also can be a different story if you're talking about ingrown hairs on the body versus ingrown hairs on the face, because that could be a whole different story. Thank you, Angelica, and your beautiful face. All right, guys, this has been fun. We're at an hour and 15-ish minutes. I'm sure at some point YouTube will be like, what the hell are you even doing? Really quickly, if you're interested in what I used on my face today, yes, Janari, that's why I told you to get a moisturizer. I used a combination of these two Pat McGrath. Is that right? Yes, these two Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes. I use a really dark smoky purple in my crease, and then I used another pink one in my on my lid. I was gonna put on a giant pair of lashes so that I could be super extra, but guess who doesn't have any lash glue? This kid right here doesn't have any lash glue because my lash glue got a hole in it around my birthday, which is probably the last time I wore lashes, and I totes forgot to buy some new ones, so now I have to place an order for it and hope that it comes by May. I'm also wearing on my lips, I got this in one of my $500 packs, but this is from our good friends at Bite Beauty. Oh, this is the wrong one. Never mind. It's from Bite Beauty. It's one of their lip crayons. It's called Pastille, but I'm not sure if it's the same color name anymore because Bite at the beginning of the year did a giant repackaging. So they changed all of the names and all of the formulations of their amuse-bouche lip products. So some of them have completely different names. Like I used to I do still stand for the Aubergine lip crayon. It has a different name now, and I just can't remember what it is. But you all know how much I love Bite Beauty. They're my favorite. And then I put a little, Sadette will recognize this. I put a little of this Pat McGrath lip gloss on in the name Blitz Gold. I can't believe I can see that. In the name Blitz Gold. Sadette gave me this because it came in one of her Pat McGrath orders as just a regular extra. And they were like, oh, you can keep it. And she gave it to me because she is a beautiful person with a kind heart. Who knows how much I love Pat McGrath? Because I do. I really, really do. All right, you guys, I am going to support small businesses and order from Seamless. I love all of you. Next time we do this, next week or week after, we'll see. I will have wine and not sherry. I will potentially dress to match this beautiful t-shirt of this beautiful artist's rendering of Nandi, Queen Mother of the Zulu Nation. She was the mother of Shaka Zulu, and for whomst I am named. I will wear a red lip because she's wearing a red lip. I should have worn a red lip. We'll do that next time. Remember, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email me at nandi@blushandbourbon.com. That's BLUSH, the letter N, BOURBON.com. Or if you have my phone number, you can just text me. You can do that too. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Thank you for rocking with me through my technical difficulties. I love all of you to pieces. You guys are the best. You are the wind beneath my wings. And I'm going to see you guys next time. And maybe, just maybe, if you're nice to me, I'll bring Journey. She's going to love it. Like, she's going to ham it up. We'll end up talking about Black Lightning or Family Reunion on Netflix, which, by the way, is a terrible show, but she loves it so much. So we just let her watch it. Like the daughters' wigs. I just want them to be better in season 2. All right. Okay, so I had struggled with what I want my like sign off to be. Like, call me when you're through, take care of you, or later, Gator. I don't know. So for now, I'll just say, don't let anyone with bad eyebrows tell you shit about your life. See you guys next time. I love you. Bye.